Recording. Hello, my human family. Today we have on one of the people you'll find everywhere on the internet, and this time she's on this corner of the internet. Uh,
Listen,
um,
I'm in this burrow. Every little hole that I go into in terms of the internet is a burrow.
well, that is true. It's a snake thing. I'm going to make an attempt at the name before I get completely laughed at. So it is Calon. Calon. Yeah, that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got Calon. Uh, natter.
Another
Natter. I was
You're getting there.
trying. I was getting it. Oh.
But,
Um. But
um, another.
yeah. Um. Calon has been my friend on Twitter for 100 ages, and we've
Hey,
talked.
remember when the Pharaoh built the pyramids? That was great, wasn't it?
It was fantastic. I was glad we could share that. Uh,
Yes. All these, all those slaves. Well, they
oh,
weren't even slaves. They were actually like farmers because it wasn't the Nile hadn't flooded its banks yet, so the water ground wasn't saturated. So they needed something else to do. So they just decided, hey, we're going to build this great huge pyramid out here.
pretty much. And thus we get hierarchies. But that's another
Exactly.
that's that's another story. All right, you know the question. This is what I always ask people beforehand that I'm going to say, and I never really say it in quite this way, but I'll just do it directly. So, who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it?
Well, I am Calon. I am a snake. I burrow because the ground generally is a nice warm place where I can strike out at prey from.
True.
And sometimes I need to get out, like to shed my skin and all these other things to go explore because I'm a very explorative snake. No, okay, actually who I am. Well, that is actually who I am. Okay, no. So I'm Calon. I am all over the place on the internet at the moment because I am building, well, two channels. One is Sticks and Stonehenge, which focuses on pagan content. The other one is Transgardr, which, yes, I know, kind of hard apparently for English speakers to pronounce, but it's a play on words. It's Gardner, which is like a fenced-in area, and then it's
Yeah.
trans. So it's basically what it is that it's an area for us trans people.
Yes. Um. This. Uh. I've been on it. They're great. UN Shay, who used to go
Thank you.
under a different name, and I've never found out if it's okay to say what the old name was of the channel.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, she used to go by AR, Atheist Rationale.
okay. I actually meant to ask her before today, and I totally blew it.
It's all
Um,
good. Yeah, she still cringes at this day, so it's fun to bring those up to embarrass her. But yes,
I, as I've told her on air, I actually thought she was out a long time before she actually was. So there's that.
there's a
Um, the but yes, Transgardr. I do another show called Fluid Voice, which is on Sunday nights. Although this week, because of the length it was this week, it's going to be on throughout the week. Uh, just clips from it. The and which is a sister show to Transgardr by my decree and by vote of my council. So
yeah by vote of your guard there of
my,
your
yes,
enclosed space.
indeed. Although we have the cis person in there, don't tell anybody. Uh,
You,
okay.
okay, yeah. So this is now material that I can officially blackmail the fluid voice if I want. Hey, you guys got cis. No, I'm kidding.
He's a wonderful. He's been an ally and to me since day one.
Plus,
So
you need your coke and cis, right?
there are days I just do not want to coexist with cis people. I
Yeah,
get
that's true.
so tired.
Yeah, cis people. Oh, sis, you. Like, they don't even they're not even needed for reproduction. Did you hear that in Thailand, a trans guy recently just gave birth?
Oh yeah,
Like, that's
sure.
exciting.
Yeah, it is. And hey, the first transgender operation, they tried to do a uterus transplant too, which didn't work out so well, but we'll get it someday.
Yep.
Uh,
And then
the
and
oh,
then Shay gets to feel the baby fever.
oh, I'm so looking forward to that. The
The baby. Oh God.
I mean, I have two kids. I'm fine. The
Are you sure you're fine? You sure you don't want more kids?
I, I one of the first things that happened to me when I well, not first thing, but very soon after going on HRT is I went through menopause, which is a thing.
Yeah, that's something I could probably get to experience. But not at the moment. I am on HRT, by the way,
Oh yeah.
which
Um.
is which is fun.
How long have you been? How long have you been? I mean, you're out. You're like not someone who keeps anything secret here. So how long have you been on HRT?
It's been a couple months, but the way my doctor decided to approach it is to start at a low dosage, so at zero point 0.5 milligrams, and then
Okay.
gradually up it. We just recently doubled my dosage up to 1 milligram.
Uh, I feel it feels like you've been out trans for again for those thousands of years. I
Yeah.
don't think I don't remember not knowing you as not trans.
Yeah. What back before I fully like identified with trans, I went under and sort of posed as like a cis female because
Oh,
I wanted to see how that would go over. It's like, yeah,
yeah,
no, this works out. It's time.
yeah.
And that's when I came out. It would have been about a year or two ago
Okay.
that I came out on Twitter. I mean, I've been out for my to myself for a while as gender fluid,
Yeah.
but it's only recently that I decided, yeah, you know what? It's time. Let's just throw it all out there. Let's throw it out there and give the middle finger to the bigots.
It's fun.
It is
I
fun.
if nothing else. A lot of people don't because of don't go on HRT for a while because of insurance. I had to wait 6 months because my insurance said I had to live as for 6 months. Uh, yeah.
It was
Uh,
surprisingly easy for me to get on HRT, or at least on the estrogen. All I had to do was just, I said to my doctor, I was like, well, I'm trans, so I want to start HRT. He was like, okay. And then he just referred me to an endocrinologist, and that was it.
wow.
I was like, okay, that
No,
works. And my endocrinologist was just like, hey, if you want to, we can chop off your testicles. It's like, nah, I think I just want the estrogen for the moment. Maybe later.
yeah, let's do things in some kind of order.
I mean, I didn't even know it was actually an option that you could get. I was
Yeah.
like, huh, that's neat. That would be great if I were like full binary trans, but I'm not.
Ah, that is the question. What pronouns? I forgot to ask pronouns.
So generally, I go for it by she, her, and
Yeah.
that's mainly because I'm usually in a fem state. I do, however, sometimes I do, however, have a non-binary side that saying transition sounds kind of weird. That I sometimes present as
Yeah.
because I'm gender fluid. and that has its own set of fun things, which yeah, I tried at one point, but going by non-binary pronouns on like Twitter. But then when I would switch to like fem for a while, people would get all confused, and I was just like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna stick with she her. That works.
I'm so boringly binary. I
I
really
mean,
am.
yeah, but you're trans, so you get to live in the new regime in a privileged position. So it's okay. It's okay to be binary. It's also okay to be not binary. Which, by the way, that is one thing I kind of dislike, and I
Yeah.
say this as an NB, is that we take all these unique gender expressions that don't fit the binary and we just throw them under one label.
Well, if you had to label, what would you go with?
That's the thing. I don't even know if there's really any other descriptor than non-binary that we have.
That's true. I mean, I will admit, and I promise you, I've had my trans card stamped. So well, I had my
Wait, I be the
I
skeptic PM and ask for evidence. No, I'm kidding.
well first they got a trans card at Panic at the Disco. They literally were handing them out.
Oh, wait.
And
Have you gotten your new trans agenda yet?
I have not, but my mail has been slow. So
Oh, okay. That explains it. Yeah. No, they recently released the 2020 platform for the trans takeover of system,
oh
and it includes a news section about how we're just going to basically use cis people to we're going to put them all in camps and then let the frogs turn them gay,
that
and
sounds
then
like
gradually increase it until they become trans.
oh I like when the frogs turn people gay. Uh oh God, trying to use my male voice. I'm so not used to it. The
Oh, that's
um
voice. Speaking of which, voice training is another thing I really want.
yeah, but your voice works. So I mean,
It's all right, so long as it's online, I guess. I always like. I always feel weird when I hear it. It's like, e, hide, cover my ear.
it happens. I came out on stage, so I had to adjust my voice as a singer on stage. So
Oh, that's fun.
yeah, uh, it took a while. The I got lost. I was gonna actually follow up on the question. You're fun to talk to, so sometimes it's just like I just want to go wherever we're going. That's cool. Uh,
I'm glad I'm fun. I'm not
yeah,
boring, guys.
you are not boring. You've never been boring. If I've said anything else about you, and believe me, I have. Uh,
She's a bit. He's a horrible transphobic. No, I'm kidding.
no, I spent 5 days on Twitter defending you for God's sakes. Oh my
I
God,
know.
that was the horror. That was a horror show. Um,
God, yeah. That whole our horror thing was a horror show. Now that I recall it, it's like, and I think the hilarious part about it all is that, like, in the end, like, I know, like, during the culmination of it all, I actually ended up going on non-sec. I don't know if you saw that debate.
I didn't.
And there
Um,
were I think, either 3 or 4 other trans people on it, and all 3 or 4 of them were tokens at the time, and they decided to attack me. So I was fending them all off. But the best part of it all was that within a few months, 3 of the 4 people came
yeah.
over to my side.
Well, and unfortunately, it's going. Uh, the just to say, the one thing I really hate on Twitter sometimes is when people argue and they don't disagree. It's just a matter of such subtle nuance that people can't get over it, and that has happened more times than I care to count. Uh,
Uh, I don't know. See, here's the issue. I don't know if it's a countable set. It might actually be an infinite set. Right there. And I mean, you can count an infinite set. You're just taking forever to count it.
I'm in my house 24/7. What else do I have to do?
Um, that will be detailed to you when the trans agenda comes out. When you get the trans agenda in the mail.
Okay, I know I have to throw out my fleshlight, but
Yeah.
past that, I'm not worried about it.
All right. Cool. Yeah. It's a pretty good program, really. I mean, about how we're going to use drag queens, even though drag queens are usually cis, to corrupt the children into being trans and all that. You know the program.
Oh yeah, that part. Um,
That's one of the best parts, in my opinion.
we're just gonna go silly. You know what? I think I'm up for silly right now. It's been a rough week. Uh,
Yeah, for you and me both. But yeah, no, but yeah, we're gonna use the. But yeah, I mean, it's ironic because because according to them, we could just use us trans people, but us trans people are above cis people, so we just employ cis people to make other people trans.
I think this is good, but we have to make sure we get our fraud collection in order first.
True, true. We do need to make sure we do need to make sure that we have all the proper. It's only one species of fraud that turns people gay and then trans, and that's the Alexius Joneses frog.
Damn frogs. The the one yeah, the other thing that's boring about me is I'm terribly monogamous, which does not seem to be a thing in the trans community either. And I get why. Um because uh
Yeah, polyamory is one of those things that it's like, to me, it's like, okay, you make sense on a philosophical level, but because of the way that I'm socialized, it's kind of hard for me to see myself in a polyamorous relationship, if that makes sense.
yeah, I mean I'm stupidly monogamous. And I don't get jealous. It's not a thing that for that. And I have been polyamorous for the sake of my partners. But I don't like it. So yeah. Although I am pan, so I do at least pass on that level.
Yeah, pan, which is, which, what am I? Like, before fully coming out, I classify myself as gay. I still consider myself gay, but being gender fluid kind of messes that all up in a way.
Yeah.
And not that gender is connected with sexuality, mind you. It's just a matter of I've only slept with men.
There you go.
So yeah.
I've I've been with the same. I was with the same person since before I came out. So
That's always
that
good.
yeah, well, that fell apart.
Oh,
The last week, I told you I've had a hard week. Uh, that fell apart last week, and just as that happened, all of a sudden, a guy asked me out, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I haven't dated a guy in a very long time. He's very nice. Let's go with him.
that's always that's always nice. I need to get back into that at some point. Dating, it's fun, or it can be fun. On the other
Yeah,
hand, I'm South, so I have to be careful.
at my age, it's a bit of a ghost town, but you know.
Ghost
Oh,
towns are nice. I mean, a lot of snakes get to slither around there, and that's the best thing about ghost towns. That's why every town should really ultimately be a ghost town.
great! I like Buffalo. We have a statue of a trans person downtown, so
Perfect.
that's where we have.
In the South. Hmm?
Yeah, here. Yeah, yeah. This is someplace I was gonna go. Actually, was the South thing. Yeah, it's one of those things. Because it wasn't really known that he was trans way back when. Or not way back when. It was known way back when just fine. It got buried for a long time. And so, because he's got a Polish last name and is a Polish city, they put it.
Polska.
Yes,
Polska. Or,
Polska.
yeah. Polski. No, yeah, it would be Polska, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Or is it Polish? I can't recall. Is Polish like Russian in that all masculine nouns end in a consonant? Or can it end in a vowel? I'm trying to remember. Because I don't want to misgender. I'm guessing I'm going to go with Polska.
I'm Spanish. I don't know anything.
I'm just going to go with Polska just in case.
Let's go with Polska just in case. It's everywhere here. Yeah, they didn't know when they put up a statue and no one's taken it down, and that's where we hold our trans rallies. So cool on it. It is literally the first thing I saw when coming into Buffalo. I was asleep until we got to downtown.
That's the perfect thing to wake up to, is a statue of a trans person.
Yeah, it was like a sign from the gods I don't believe in, but you do, so I'll let you
Exactly.
call it a sign.
It is a sign from the gods. Which gods I don't know, because but hey, we'll just say it's from the gods. Probably from the Nornir. But hey. The Nornir really gods? You don't really worship the Nornir.
No. No, they're no. Well, I mean, technically.
I mean, you could see them as an extension of the Disia, which you do worship, especially around Disa Blot, which is a blot, by the way, for those who don't know, is it's a time when basically a bunch of us heathens get around a bonfire or whatever, and we just make offerings to the gods. I think the way the Norse phrase it was Evda Blot, literally to perform a sacrifice. In the Norse times, those were humans. In our times, not so much. Though, when I look at Trump, I begin to think, human sacrifice to Koalimus, the great god of stupidity, might not be such a bad idea.
I just want to make Loki's boat out of Stephen Miller's nails.
I'm sure Loki will do that.
They're upset. They're upset at. That's my radical part coming out. I may be known as.
It may either be that or Stephen Nyland. I don't know if you know, or Stephen McNellen. I don't know if you know who that is. If you don't, you're probably better off for it. But I'd love to see Loki use his brains or something like that as the ornamentation on his boat, because that is the role he plays in life. Yeah, Stephen McNeilan, by the way, for those who don't know, he's basically the one responsible for racist heathenry.
Oh, okay, I thought, well, shit. Okay, yes, I didn't know who you're talking about. Never mind.
Yeah, so basically, basically he can go off and die. He really can.
Is he not? He's not dead already?
Is he dead? I don't know. I mean, I don't keep track of him. I probably should.
He's old at least.
He's not heading to Valhalla or hell. Well, he's heading down to Nithfolger. So, for those who, by the way, who don't understand the reference there, Nithfolger is like the serpent who is at the roots of the tree. Yes. And this is all, of course, not literal interpretation, but he consumes like the souls of oath-breakers. If I'm not careful, I'll switch into Old Norse.
It's quite all right. You are crackling a bit, so just be aware of that.
Oh, okay. Hopefully it gets better. Ish.
Oh, now you sound like you're on the radio.
Hello.
There you are. There, you're good. I just didn't want to. I wanted the people to actually hear you, because you're being funny, and I like funny.
Funny is great.
Don't we have the poison, the drops of poison from the Midgard serpent?
Midgard is on more. Um,
I'm gonna
that's,
say
that's
everything with in its anglicized version because
that's fine.
fuck, I can barely speak Spanish, so
Just don't say Yorman as dormant because that's just weird. It's Jormungandr or Jormungand.
that I did know.
Um, I have actually heard people pronounce it Jorman, and I'm just like, no, why? Why do you do this? No, Jormund. It flows so much easier. Um, and I think, yeah, it's and you have Loki's wife who, being dutiful, will try to catch the drops, and when she doesn't catch a drop and it hits and a bit of venom hits Loki, that's why we get earthquakes from.
Oh, okay.
Which is
I
a great when you think which when you think about it is actually a great like analogy, so to speak, for actual earthquakes in the sense that whenever lava gets up through the Earth's crust, or like when plates get stuck together, that's the poison, and that's why you have earthquakes. That's
right,
how I remember it. Hmm?
and I apologize for forgetting that it was just for Loki that the poison drops are. I have so many people that I would like to have experienced that.
Oh
Just
yeah, so many Nidingar. Nidingar is it's like a really low person, like scum.
so Stephen Miller. We're back to Stephen Miller.
McNally, yeah, basically him. He's a Nidingar.
When
Um,
when it was reported that Stephen Miller's wife had tested positive for COVID-19, my first thought was not anything about the White House. It was Stephen Miller's married. Yikes!
I still can't believe Trump is married.
No, he pretends to be rich, so it's easier for him.
Yeah,
Uh,
true.
uh,
Class
that's
trait. Sorry, what? I'm not
no.
radical. I'm not radical at all. I don't know what you're talking about. There's only good old centrism here.
Oh yeah, same here.
Yeah, we're
I'm.
just a bunch of centrists. We're not radical at all. What are you talking about?
You know, on the internet, I do tend to come across as nice and sweet and not confrontational and all of that. I am so fucking radical. I'm for guillotining.
The rich
Every
eat the rich.
I'm for guillotining. I'm not really for guillotining. I don't like
No,
killing
guillotine
people,
is fun.
but I'm very far left. So I am.
It reminds me of a meme that I saw on Transgardr that someone made,
Yeah.
where he said where he posted that little political compass. Then it showed the left, and then it was like Calon, and then it had an arrow going all the way far, far away from left. And like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, pretty much. Uh, they don't have a name for what I am, but I suppose DemSoc would is the stuff I use is what I used to get beaten up for. So I guess I'll keep it.
I mean, it's a thing. I'm an ancom myself.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a vicious anarchist, so I want horizontal, not vertical hierarchy.
well, it doesn't really fit me anymore. But again, I got beaten up for it enough times that I'll claim the label for whatever I am.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
I can't be at least it's one of the reasons. What do you since I'm actually trying, I'm gonna try some of this to be an interview part. What do you think of the word queer?
I think that it's a word that is descriptive and useful, and therefore is a very valid label for especially when you want to gender fuck someone. For those who don't know, by the way, gender fuck is an actual academic term.
Yeah.
And so genderqueer as a sort of a way for to encourage sort of gender bending is something I'm all for.
Because most again, this is my age thing again, but a lot of people in my age cohort do not like the use of the word in the LGBTQ. Me, when I was younger, people say you're such a queer. I'm like, yep.
Exactly, and I think that should be the attitude that we take towards it. Is that it's something that we've not only reclaimed but sort of made into its own identity.
Yeah, because gender non-conforming is too much. Genderqueer is cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it gives it a nice exotic and fun feel.
Yeah, who doesn't enjoy being around genderqueer folk? I mean, come on. You can actually relax instead of constantly being gender policed by you those dirty people we call cis. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna be because of terms of service. I actually have to kind of say the stuff about the cis. We're being a little jokey, and we have lots of cis friends.
Oh
I,
yeah, there are a
I, I
bunch of
yeah, I was happy when we got a rescue trans here, because then the trans outnumbered the cis people here 3-2. But I think that's a fine ratio.
I will say though that, and this is probably one of my criticisms, is that it's not a both sides thing when it comes to like joking around like about cis people, in the sense that, in a way, talking about cis people in sort of that joking manner
Yeah.
is, in a way, taking like sort of back what cis people have always been saying to us.
Yeah, and that's how I'm trying to use it. That's how I'm using it here too. It's not
The socialist
because
in me just can't help but point that out.
yeah, and yeah, you know what I mean by it's a terms of service thing. So if anybody
Exactly.
objects, I've gotta
Oh yeah, no, I understand that. It's just if they investigate this video, I also want YouTube to hear that.
yes. I fuck yeah. Uh, because I and god damn it, you all and a lot of people called themselves turfs first, so we just kept the title for you. So we kept it
Exactly.
nice and warm for you, so we
Oh,
can.
which by the way, fun fact, I used to be a radical feminist.
I still am, but I'm certainly not a trans exclusionary one.
Yeah, no, I'm not I was never trans exclusionary, although I did have some issues trying to work that stuff out when I was going through like the ideology. I was like,
Mhm.
well, if we want to get to the root of the problem and eliminate gender, how does that work with people being transgender? And it's complicated, but there is a way to make it work.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting. Although in the end, I don't think you can eliminate gender, and I think that if you do eliminate gender, people are going to find some other presentation style to judge and basically make into a construct that, if not the exact same as gender, is something very like gender in terms of how it uses in terms of prejudgment and whatnot.
Well, I'm not a gender. This is a place where I don't go, which is I'm not a gender abolitionist. Um, I get why people are, and I don't argue with people over this particular thing because a
Kafavash.
no, it first came about with Cirrus, and we're both on reasonably good terms with Cirrus. So, um,
I'm on okay. I'm actually, yeah, I'm on good terms with service as well. I'm also actually on decent terms with Vosh. Like the thing is that I understand what game he's playing
yeah,
in terms of like baiting the right and whatnot. So I don't. I mean, obviously he says a lot of what's a nice way to put it?
well, he calls himself Dirtbag Left, so I'm cool with that.
All right, we'll just call him a dirtbag. So obviously there's going to be rhetoric that's aimed more towards a right-leaning crowd designed to pull in right-leaning people over towards the left. And in a way, I'm kind of okay with that, in the sense that, okay, if this is what can get people further left and to accepting us trans folks, then I can see the consequentialist argument there, if you will. Does that make
Uh,
sense?
oh yeah, and I'm gonna lose a lot of people that I fairly like. Vosh. She's on. I get notifications when his videos go up, and I watch 1 out of 10 of them, because time.
Mm-hmm.
Although time is meaningless right now.
What is
Um,
called time but a human construct?
I blame it on the Sumerians.
It was our fault. I will be the one to say, yes, we did come up with the time. We actually came up with about 7, 10 different calendars, depending on which city state you were in.
Yeah, but it's all those 60s that all. Although my math, I did not a conversation. Particularly, it would get very nerdy. But my math teacher was actually pretty clear on why 60 works better than almost any other number.
Yeah, it's because Babylonians. That's why we have 60 for
Yeah,
like 360 degrees, breaking up the sky into various parts and whatnot.
yeah,
Um, all that sort of fun stuff. You can thank the Babylonians and ultimately, I guess, the Sumerians, since the Babylonians took everything like in away from the Sumerians.
yeah. And then we tried to take it recently again, and it's not working. The
Which there's some interesting gender stuff about the Sumer. They were by no means perfect in terms of gender. Like
no,
you'll see some people portray they were still a patriarchal society, but they weren't like as I guess prude as like later Middle Eastern cultures would be. Like for example, they didn't know the hymen existed.
okay,
So
I didn't know that, but
so when they would list like when they would say that they would say this girl is a virgin, they would what would denote that would be her lack of sexual experience.
yeah, the queer thing about them, if I may use it in a different way, uh, was I mean, you have you. I mean that area and roughly in that time, and I'm conflating a lot of things. So please forgive me. This is like a 301 course if you really want to get into it. But the because Ishtar was not strictly a female goddess or female god, um, although god of
Yeah, because
fertility.
Nana. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes,
Nana is very she's a very interesting deity. Uh, so yeah, she is a goddess of sex. She's also a
yes,
goddess of war, and when she was in a like war aspect, she would be portrayed with like a beard.
yes, and
Okay,
and yeah, there's I mean there's so much to get into on that stuff. the, uh, oof. Uh,
oh yeah,
and that's just the stuff that we have. I'm curious the
we
stuff
actually
we
have a
don't have.
lot. Yeah, oh yeah, we actually have a lot from Sumer. It's like shocking. It's like this civilization is so old that they had contact with the Indus Valley civilization.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm conflating a lot of area. I'm conflating a lot of when was what, but uh, and now I've forgotten the name of the hero, not the god,
Gilgamesh.
but Gilgamesh. Thank you, Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh and Enkidu. They were having a
Which
they were
literally means begotten by Enki,
well, yes.
born
Again,
by.
I'm anglicizing shit, so forgive
Yeah,
me.
no, it's fine. I'm used to breaking down because the thing about Sumerian language is that like everything is sort of breaks down because what they did was they used a heck of a lot of compounds. So
Yeah.
like literally, the truth in Sumerian is like a compound word. I forget the exact, but I remember that when you break it down, it means thing verified.
Yes.
Thing
Um,
verified equals true.
the well, I'm just all I'm saying is I'm sure that that they were having it on.
Oh, yeah, there are a lot of rituals that involve a lot of sex stuff in Sumer, from what I recall.
Just a few, and not always hetero, and not always.
Oh yeah, no, like the Gala worship and none involved having anal sex.
Unless I'm mistaken, and this is a place where I very well may be, uh, then that is the earliest civilization we know of that recognized trans people. As a,
Um, it's kind of difficult to say about recognition of trans people per se. It would almost come off as sort of recognizing, but not in our sense of like trans, because the sense of gender was a little bit different.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yes, it is the earliest civilization because it's also the earliest civilization we know to have written records.
Well, that's true. But most of it were how many peas are in the pot,
Yeah, exactly.
So the I the, and there's the other question: how long have you been studying this stuff? I mean, I've told you on a different occasion that were I to accept a degree, and there's complicated reasons why I didn't. That my degree, the only thing I have enough credits to graduate with is theology. Include,
Theology is so much fun. Um,
yep,
Now, but the thing about theology, and one of my major criticisms of the area, is that it's way too Western at times. So it makes it hard to talk about polytheism in like a meaningful. You see this actually when you get into discussions theologically on Hinduism. Is
yeah,
Hinduism polytheistic or is it monotheistic? The answer to that question is yes.
yes,
Just yes.
it is. The and there, well, even if you get into ancient Hebrew, you've got six genders in the Old Testament. So,
Right. Exactly.
um,
Uh,
and
yeah.
I double checked that before I said it out loud on one stream with a person who studies ancient Hebrew a lot more than I ever have.
Got it. Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah. For me, when it comes to like building up my own theology, I tend to grab the bits and pieces from what I can from Reconstruction. In other words, I'm a Reconstructionalist, so I go and I see, okay, what did the Norse think about their theology?
Yeah,
Oh, it turns out they actually have a very rich theology. In some
yeah,
ways, like there's this, like just the other day, I was reading about the Megging, which is, I say the Megging itself. For anyone who knows the Old Norse, which I don't know how many people here do, um, is a definite noun.
my
But
my
anyhow,
my audience is incredibly well educated because, of course, they are.
of course. But anyhow, so the Megging was actually treated apparently by the Old Norse as the same thing as mana was in Polynesian cultures, and Stilu, I think that's Stilu's correct term, was treated by the Inuit cultures, which is basically to say that
Yeah,
it's animist. Everything has sort of a Megging, which just to translate Megging in terms of like theology is a very
it's
it's a
more.
very
It's a very complicated term, and but I mean, life force is sort of like what you're talking about, but it's
yeah,
not. It's not that.
yeah, it's
It's
more primal. It's like, I mean, one of the best ways I think to have heard it talked about is phenomenological experience itself can be characterized as a Megging,
yeah,
as well as the aspect of potentiality.
yeah. That's the yeah because because the term doesn't it doesn't have it doesn't have a tense in the way we mean um, uh, first person, second person, third person, and it doesn't have a tense in terms of time, past, present, future.
Right, it's a noun, yeah. So,
It's a thing that exists,
right, and
but
it of itself by necessity, so to speak.
yeah,
and it's like even and that's the other thing is that megging itself is something that an object sort of possesses.
Yeah.
Like even when I was reading the text that was going over what the sort of the scholars think of it, like it's a reference that when you hear like terms like osmegging, which is the megging of the Asir are the tribe of gods that accompany Odin, Thor, and so forth.
Right.
So when you hear osmegging as like god power, it's not so much the power of the god in themselves. It's the power that dwells inside the god.
And the power that created the gods.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, in a way. This
I mean,
is wow. This is
the creation of the actual gods themselves is a bit more complicated and a bit more foggy to me, because I could see like for the first principle as being in megging, though, that I could see megging and molter, which is another term for megging. Which, by the way, you can get molter. All you have to do is eat food, because literally that's how they refer to nutrition. The nutritional value of a food is referred to as molter.
well, I have to take my multivitamins. Well,
Exactly.
that was so bad. I apologize. I'm a comedy writer by trade. I really should know better. uh, it doesn't always come across when I'm doing these things, but
Oh, it's all good. Plus, also you're dealing with someone who associates with ocean, so that means you're required to have some bad puns.
Well, yeah, there is that. Ocean is a deep sea of bad puns.
Exactly. He's such a sea that he can't. That not even a necromancer could raise him.
Oh God. Okay, you've outdone me. That's it. I quit. I'm no longer a comedy writer. I'm going back to writing horror. Well, how long have you been studying this? I mean, I rarely come across someone who knows most of this shit, and I'm surfacing everything, even though I do know a lot of this deeper. But
I've been studying this for about a year now.
Really?
And yeah, okay. It's been about a year since I went with heathenry. The difficult part of studying this is sorting through all the trash and finding the good stuff.
Yeah.
And the good stuff tends to not be written in English either. Like literally the book that I have that talks about sort of like the Norse concept of megging and molter, as well as Seder, which is just magic is the closest translation I can give to it, is a book that has not been translated into English and was originally written in German. So I get to put my German degree to use.
I should have gone with that. I didn't think, even just studying Christian theology, frankly, everything's in German. So
this is true. The Deutsche, they really Deutsch things up.
I can speak Latin, but
Latin.
Yeah, or I used to be able to. The weirdest thing that my family has ever done, and my family is, well, I don't talk about I often talk about my Nazi stepfather, who really is. I'm old enough where that's a thing that's possible. The I rarely talk about my mother's side, but one of the things we did is only speak Latin in the house for a year while she was studying for the bar exam.
I mean, I guess that's reasonable.
And then she came home and said, there was almost no Latin on there. Yeah, but it was fun.
Exactly. Can't beat it. So I think, that's right. I should create a new rule on fluid voice. All right, we're only speaking in Old Norse.
Oh, no. I can't. I would be able to keep up for about a minute. Um, my Nazi stepfather actually did speak both German and Swedish.
Oh, huh.
Swiss,
Was it
Swedish,
Swiss or
no,
Swedish? Because Swiss
Swedish.
German sounds horrible. I don't know how anyone speaks it.
Oh, mm,
Apparently they do, though.
apparently they do, and I've certainly watched enough of their programming. Uh, their murder mysteries are great. Uh,
That and Austrian, both are
yeah,
really. It's a lot of fun stuff you can do when you know German.
yeah.
When
Uh,
you uh, when you have uh, when you have learned some Deutsch.
my older daughter. This is speaking of the oddity, and I guess I do have to go back to my Nazi stepfather. Um, we weren't allowed to speak anything but English in the house
Ew,
when he was around.
ew,
Um,
that's disgusting.
yeah, and
I
here,
mean, it would have been one thing if it like old English is nice, but modern English,
Modern English was a great band.
band,
Sorry,
yes, but language, that's going to be a tough sell.
shouldn't actually say was. They're still around. The but no. So my first language was Spanish, um, which I don't really know how to speak that well. I can read it, but I don't speak it. Um, and so my mother speaks 7 languages, my sister 9, and me, I'm stuck in English, and I know Latin if I had to. And it's just one of those oddities because my he left early enough where my sister was able to spread that out.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom's an immigration lawyer. So
Irony
yeah.
with the Nazi stepfather.
Oh yeah. I still say my growing up would make an interesting sitcom if it wasn't so horrific. Um, which was the Nazi and the showgirl. Um, you know, I became the showgirl too. So
Yeah,
the but I mean we're I mean I know you live in the South, and I'm not going to ask you where because I haven't.
Greensboro, Carolina. You're not going to find me.
Oh no, but I am gonna send somebody to you who needs help. Uh,
Well, I'm always happy to help.
okay. I to be perfectly honest, I knew nobody in Greensville, and I was trying to find. And
I'm in Greensboro. I mean,
I mean,
Greensville is a little
did I say
further.
Greensville? Fuck me. I heard Greensboro, and I meant to say Greensboro, and it's Greensboro. I know someone in Greenville, which is not which is a different place, and Charlotte is also Charlottesville, which
Charlottesville. Yeah, no, that's not quite the right Charlotte, but yeah, Charlotte here is it's the biggest city in North Carolina.
right, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, Charlotte, North Carolina is actually it's a pretty decent place. Now the surrounding area of like Gastonia and whatnot, ew, no thanks.
I am having such trouble with. We went so far back that I've completely lost the U.S. stuff.
Look, yeah, I mean that's what happens when you're a immortal entity that says, I mean, this is a new country. It's only what 300 years old, if even that.
Yes.
So it's completely understandable.
Oh, yeah. Greensboro. Greensboro seems nice. I just passed through.
It's It's a quaint little. Well, it's not so little. We actually have like the population of Iceland here, which is 300,000 people.
Yeah.
Uh, it's nice if you're in the city. Not very nice if you're in the countryside.
Um, yeah, we've got a very big metroplex here, so in Buffalo. Everybody calls it Buffalo, but it consists of three different cities, five townships, and or two townships and six suburbs. Uh, the only other city you've probably heard of is Niagara Falls. It's a thing. Uh,
Buffalo just sounds like that place which should belong to Canada but doesn't.
I've been saying that forever. I've been
That's how I think
I'm
of.
open petitions to give us back to Canada.
That's how I think of Buffalo. It's like Buffalo, that place that should belong to Canada but doesn't for some reason.
It's mostly surrounded by Canada.
Exactly.
Um, we've just got that stupid lake and the river, right? The river, the famous part of it, in the way.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, if we really think about it, it should go back to the Iroquois. But hey,
um, part of Buffalo. In fact, where Jesse's from, is petitioning to be completely reverted to the Iroquois, but that has a lot to do with tax protesters.
oh, fun.
So
I wish
it's
I wouldn't mind. I wish I lived so closer to a reservation. I would be instantly at that reservation learning the language and culture of whatever tribe it was.
no,
Like, yes, I know, I'm white, but I'm not here to disrespect or even make money off of you. Would you be so kind to teach me?
I worked on the reservation for a year, so
So you can speak Onondaga?
no, not even close. Again,
Oh,
I've got like a mental block against speaking other languages, which I wish I didn't.
we'll just throw you into it's not what is the language called? It's not Onondaga. That's like the name of a city. It's Oneda, I think it is. We'll just throw you to a place where they only speak Oneda.
Yeah, that's not. Oh fuck! I don't even know what it is here. I mean, they have the signs are in the language,
That's cool. I love it. That's one of my favorite parts of going through a reservation.
but yeah, the reservation is not exactly walking distance. It's about 16 miles away, um, which is simple. Um, and I live on. I live. Well, I'm not gonna go too close to where I live in Buffalo, but there is a road that leads straight from, more or less straight from where I am, straight to the reservation. Um, so really easy to get to. Uh, and yeah, I worked there for a year working on the computer system for the outpost.
Hmm, cool.
I can't speak Fortran either.
Well,
Yes,
they have plenty of time to learn, I'm sure.
I'm sure none of the languages I actually learned for computers will ever go out of style.
Well, I mean, it's not so, with programming languages. It's more about the principles behind the languages than it is the actual language. Like,
Yeah.
if you know how like the mathematics of it works, then you can do pretty much any programming language.
Oh,
It's just a
sure.
matter of figuring out. Oh, this is how a function works. Okay, this is a while loop. This is a for loop. This is that loop. Okay, cool, got it.
Yeah, going from assembler to C plus was like a piece of cake because it was right there. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just a lot less steps. Uh, the I got off track again, didn't I?
A
Ah,
little.
you know what? Fuck it. I don't care. This I have needed a break this week, and I was really glad that you were coming on because I was like, oh, okay, this will probably just evolve into some kind of weird
No,
wandering around things.
this is the most intense, controversial interview you'll ever have, isn't it? I'm kidding.
Oh, absolutely. People wonder what the hell we're going on about. I mean, get Digital Hammurabi here, and that's probably the only that's who'll understand what the hell we were going on about and all the
Well,
different aspects.
yeah. But yeah,
Uh, or I should say, Digital Hammurabi is two people, so
yeah, they are.
that's not.
Let's not erase one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
You can go ahead and erase Josh. Why not? You know, just because.
Well, with essence of thought, everybody erases Udita. So
That is true.
Which is
But
unfortunate.
Udita, by the way, she's a really nice person.
She is. She actually one-upped me on a joke. I wrote out a long, complicated joke for her yesterday, and she actually managed to capstone it better than my original, and I was jealous.
That's great.
So she's great. And I've been friends with Peter Ethel long before they were controversial. Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep coming back to last year, which was, the shit show.
Last year's nightmare.
Yeah, I just call it the incident.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for the next incident to break out.
We're getting there.
I mean, sure. Right now, it's pretty much the month of the smash of axing predators from the community. So something's bound to come out.
My mouth is shut while we're on air.
Yeah, I know. I sewed your lips together. Remember?
Oh right, the rituals. Fuck.
Yeah, I know. Just like what happened to Loki. Yeah.
Okay.
I know it was a hard thing to do, but you gotta make sacrifices.
Yeah. I suppose. I lost a snake today, or we lost a snake today, so.
You'll get the snake burial.
We'll give the snake a nice burial, and we still have an iguana.
Give the snake a Viking burial.
Well, we do live on the water.
You could. You would just simply get, what you would do is, there are a few ways that Viking burials can go. One is you get like this wooden chip, and then you place the snake in, and with whatever the snake had, and then you just bury him and put him in a little mound, and that would be a Viking burial. Or you could also do like what's more often done in the movies, which is send the snake off on a flaming ship.
Yeah, I like the movie version better. Sometimes movies are better than real life.
They can be, yeah. Especially since the snakes don't usually care about possession.
Except the Snyder Cut. Fuck the Snyder Cut. Just putting that out there.
Speaking of which, I'm going to check on my little snaky here.
As long as I'm glad you're happy with your snake. You were asking what kind of snake it was. It looks a lot like the one you showed me last time. So
I probably show you like hundreds of different snakes.
Oh, you just showed me the one.
Was he white like a ball python?
White like a ball python with the gold back?
Huh, it could be an albino python then. Oh, look, it looks like you finished shedding, Skeena. Oh.
Hey.
I would show him on camera, but...
Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah. And camera shy.
That's fine.
But he's a good snake.
My first video after coming out trans, I looked like Iggy Pop in a lot of makeup.
Gotcha.
So, before the hormones did their thing. I still look old, but
That first video, what was it? Like in, what was it, 5000 BC?
oh yeah. But I came out again recently. I've gone back in the closet many a time.
I mean, we kind of have to, given like how these cultures seem to change over the eons. Like one culture will accept us, and the next culture won't accept us, and another culture. Then you have the Egyptians, then you have the Romans, and then, it's really hard to keep track of all these cultures,
Yeah, I'm I just want a houseboat. I want a houseboat and just sit on the water and watch the civilizations go by.
Exactly.
Uh, no, eventually they'll need the water again, and you know, I can go total libertarian and make all waterways tollways.
Oh no, no, no. Libertarianism is. We've went over this. We went over this like 200 years ago. Libertarianism is not the way to go. Well,
No,
not. I should say not that kind of libertarianism, because there is social libertarianism, socialist
yeah,
libertarianism, which is good.
which is actually the closest to what I would be.
A lib, which would be a libsoc
Yeah, socialist libertarian.
socialist. Mhm.
I'm for share the wealth and leave me alone. It's the easiest way to explain it. The so you I am curious, and you do not have to answer this. Well, you don't have to answer anything, but when 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 are we going to see your pretty face? I've seen your pretty face. Your face is pretty.
Wait, you have?
Yes, I have.
When did you see it?
Uh, when you showed me your snake.
Oh, okay. You'll probably see it maybe in a year or so when the hormones have taken their effect more. I mean, if
Okay.
you're in a server, you can actually see my face now, but that's aside from the point.
Huh.
You would have to scroll up really far back though to see it, admittedly.
Yeah, I would assume so. My time bubble has broken. That's why I'm stuck in. I'm not only stuck in the in this present. I'm stuck in the wrong present. I'm in the wrong universe. Once Donald Trump was elected, I knew I was completely in the wrong universe.
Yeah, I mean, I could have told you that the Americans were going to pull us stupid like they always do, but
Yeah. The actually,
so far the
so
Norwegians have come along nicely.
yeah, yeah. The the election of Donald Trump had a lot to do with me coming out finally. Actually, strangely enough.
Huh.
Although it's not strange because I hear that from a lot of people who say, "Fuck this! I am who I am, and if I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna fight it. I'm gonna fight it as myself."
Exactly. That's my attitude. It's always been my attitude. But then again, that's kind of the attitude that sociology sort of instills in you at times. It's like,
Yeah,
society's fucked up. I don't want to play this game. I'm going to try to fix it.
yeah, and it's all it's it, it's a shit show.
Oh, society. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Memorial Day when we're recording this.
Yes, and it's on my mind.
Happy
And
Memorial to all the veterans.
to all the veterans, and we know you,
Sorry
and
to
we
use you up and discarded you like you're garbage, but
yes, and we know you fought for the country, not for the fucking flag.
yeah, exactly.
I get I get very I one of the things I said last if you look on the thing where kids who refuse to say the pledge um, were made to stand in the hallway where the Supreme Court overturned that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You will find my dead name on there. Ours was one of the families that did that.
Wow.
So I have something great
You
for
got
you. What's that?
you got history.
I'm part of history.
Yep. Hey, can I get out of this history business? I mean, history seems rather cruel.
Yeah, I'm not. It bends towards justice, but sometimes it bends like the fucking yellow brick road.
Yeah, tears influence, you know.
You know. We're actually going fairly longer than expected. Which is fine and cool. Um, I'm
Yeah,
doing.
I'm probably going to have to go soon though because I'm being
Oh yeah,
summoned.
I
There
I,
was
w- I was trying to wrap up. So, uh, yeah, everybody said there as I do the I'm about to wrap up thing. People say I have to go soon. I'm like, yes, that's what I'm doing. Uh,
it works out.
I know this has been just sort of an all over the place episode, and I love it. And it was lovely to speak to you, Callan, as it is always.
No
And
problem. Yeah,
um, I'm glad we have sister shows. Uh,
I do. Yeah, it's great. The
and
project is coming along a lot better than I actually expected it would. It's pretty decent, damn solid.
yeah,
Convert. Hmm.
Transgardr is really good, and I was shouted out from the rooftops and have. Uh, I I love you and Shay, and
Yeah, and we you too as well.
thank you. And all that's pretty much left is to say thank you again, and I have to say a particular prayer that is forced on me by the platform to which we all bow down. If you like this, please give it a like. Please comment, which is actually better for the algorithm than giving it a like, believe it or not. And
Subscribe.
subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Though I'm recording it tonight, Council of Geeks will be on next Tuesday. Um, and Gosh, there's a Patreon, a Ko-fi, a PayPal, a whole bunch of ways to pay me that you people better do because I know where you live. No,
Yeah,
the
pay her. She will send demons after you. She will send the Galu after you. Yes, pay her.
indeed. Um, I'm also on Fluid Voice. I am also on the Bitching Hour. Um, uh, Links in the description. I will have Transgarter links. Do you still have your own? You still have your own channel as well, right?
Sort of do. Right now it's a little bit on hiatus because I don't have a computer, but eventually I plan on releasing a video on like domestic violence and whatnot. But that's
Oh,
going to be a bit in the future.
okay. So, well, we'll put you on there anyway. It's
Yeah.
okay. I was wondering why I haven't gotten notifications in a while. I thought it was the algorithm.
Yeah,
Uh,
no. Or me becoming busy with college.
College?
Yeah,
God, that was so long ago.
it was.
Uh, the, I mean, I mean, Plato was still running the place when I was there.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes.
The Anyway, that's pretty much it. Remember to all of you, and I mean this. I really do mean this, and I say this every time, but I really do mean this because it's from the heart, and your voice matters, your life matters, and you matter, and um, please take care of yourselves. I know it's been rough lately, so I hope something like this, which was just a bit of silliness, with a few bits of information, uh, was of some use to you. So thank you again, and thank you to Callan.
Yeah,
You
no
too.
problem. It's a pleasure.
All right, and thank you to your snakes.
Always
I,
think the snakes own everything.
I hope there's a snake Valhalla because
Oh,
ours deserves it. Uh, and wear a mask and wash your hands. God damn it. Um, I well, I suppose I'll talk to you next time. Thank you again, and good. Live, oh right, live long and prosper. I'm supposed to be doing that now. Talk to you later. Bye.
bye.